Welcome to SMNI. You're watching Business and Politics. I'm your host, Dante Klinkang. Tonight, we invited Jose Maria Joey Concepcion III to talk about entrepreneurship and opportunities in ASEAN for micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. ASEAN, as you know, is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, a bloc of countries that includes the Philippines. Mr. Concepcion was chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, or BAC, when the Philippines chaired that regional grouping in 2017. Since then, he has continued linking Filipinos with fellow entrepreneurs across Southeast Asia. That work has been an extension of his advocacy in the Philippines, where he founded the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship, Go Negosyo. Through that organization, Mr. Concepcion hopes to alleviate poverty in the country by promoting an entrepreneurial mindset and by leading programs that help grow small businesses. His goal is to transform the Philippines into a nation of entrepreneurs. Indeed, the value of small businesses cannot be understated. MSMEs contribute 36% to the gross value added, employ 62.4% of the labor force, and account for 99.5% of the registered companies in the Philippines. MSMEs are equally important for ASEAN. They contribute 85% to employment in Southeast Asia, 44.8% to the bloc's collective GDP, or gross domestic product, and 18% to national exports. Those figures suggest that harnessing the potential of small businesses may be the key to realizing economic aspirations not only in the Philippines but also in ASEAN. With that, we will ask Mr. Concepcion, how do we unlock the power of MSMEs so that they can contribute more to growth and development? Joey? Mr. Concepcion, thank you for making time for Business and Politics. Sir, may I call you Joey?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll call you Klink as well.
Okay. Thank you for making time. Sir, a few weeks ago, you attended the ASEAN summits in Jakarta. I was surprised that there was so much attention given to MSMEs. And I suppose that's quite important to what you're doing here in the Philippines. Can you talk about what the focus is and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to link your group and the stakeholders in your group with others in the region?
Well, as we know that in the 10 ASEAN countries, not everybody is doing well. I mean, Brunei, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, but the rest, we're all somewhere there. No? Mm-hmm. So, and MSMEs form part of everyone's economy, including the ASEAN. And that is why the theme of ASEAN is prosperity for all. That was our theme from when we hosted it in 2017.
Right.
So it's very clear that ASEAN countries have to come together. And that has happened for so many years. No? But what's more important is that we really show concrete steps now on making the countries more inclusive.
Okay.
That's the way I believe that prosperity can be achieved for more. And that's where you see digitalization come in.
Right.
And many other
Which is another big topic at the ASEAN summits. Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, there are talks about integrating or unity in ASEAN, but when I talk to some businessmen, the problem or the challenge is sometimes finding the complementarity. For example, in Davao, the businessmen said that the BIMP Ayaga, they were saying that Davao makes or sells the same things that Indonesia and Brunei are selling. What are we doing about that to, as you say, help each other, integrate? What are the programs that you're involved in?
Well, the biggest challenge for the Philippines is agriculture.
Okay.
And this is why we took the first initiative. Now, in 2017, normally as a chairman of the entire ASEAN, and you lead that conference, you have to have a legacy project.
Right.
Indonesia apparently had like 10 legacy projects, which is really not done. I mean, but they are that aggressive and that huge.
Right.
Our legacy project was MSME through what we call the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurship Network, called AMEN. It's a mentoring program.
That's what Go Negosyo is doing.
That's what Go Negosyo. But more than that, this is now getting all countries to bring in their mentors to help their MSMEs.
I see.
So fortunately, the Japan government funded the AMEN program, no? And it's in every country that it's done online, and we have mentors from Brunei, of course, mentoring their own people, following a basic curriculum that was designed for that purpose. No? So they're the second funding, and we're looking forward to the third funding. That means it's working, and hopefully, like in the Philippines, we're far advanced, no? Because we're doing mentorship all over the provinces. No? So that's the vision. No? MSME development is key to ASEAN really becoming much stronger.
I see. Sir, one of the things I found quite intriguing was the QR code that facilitated cross-border payments. Is that something that you're looking at? Is that something that can maybe help our MSMEs, when in servicing, I guess, buyers or travelers from the region who are coming here in the Philippines? Is that something that will be good? What do you think?
I think it will, but in general, the biggest thing to create more inclusion is digitalization.
Okay.
And we can really see it. I mean, Angkas, you have, Joyride and many other platforms in each country, no?
Yeah.
So the goal really is, how do you make the ASEAN more inclusive?
Right.
Digitalization is the way. A payment system like an e-wallet, which we have today,
Yes, yeah.
GCash, Maya,
Yes,
etc.
yeah.
The respective countries have the same thing. Now, how can we interconnect these e-wallets together?
Right.
No?
Right.
So there are many ideas, and there are many sharp, enterprising entrepreneurs that are setting digital platforms. No? So I see that as the way of really unlocking the shackles of us, big business,
Right.
in just them being part of our value chain. No? They
Right.
can now expand that with digitalization to e-wallets,
Yeah.
market platforms, etc. No?
Yeah.
And even mentorship. No? That's happening right now.
Right. And the QR code, one of the Philippines is one of the countries that joined that. There's sort of an e-wallet, but the question is, how do we convince our local businesses to adopt it? I'm sure there's an awareness issue as well. How do we promote it, and how do they sign up for it, and things like that?
Well, right now, I think the QR code will take time. No, what we are really trying to do is to teach the MSMEs how to use these platforms.
Okay.
How to maximize the e-wallets that are out there. No?
Right.
And it's really basically access to market and access to money. No?
Okay.
That's critical. Now, if you look at our MSMEs here in the metropolitan area, they're not as challenged. Of course, there are people still below the poverty level, but the big brothers are right here. Now, when you go out in the provinces, agriculture remains the biggest challenge. No? And bulk of our MSMEs are in that sector. So you have that challenge. So and everybody, from the time of the father, President Marcos, with the land reform, now President Marcos taking over, moving towards block farming, in other words, going for 24 hectares at the minimum,
Right.
which is the recommended minimum hectareage to really have scale, no? And we have to create scale. So the president is really very passionate about it, no? And you can see that he still wants to keep the agri portfolio, because it's like in Philippines Incorporated, assuming Philippines is a corporation, your problem area today is agriculture. So
Right.
you have to put the best people there to fix it. And that's why also in the private sector, we are supporting that initiative of the president.
Yeah, with CALAP.
With the ASEAN now, tying up MOAs. Of course, these are just signatures, no?
Sure.
Of different leaders. Now it's how do we get that implemented?
Okay.
And fortunately, Malaysia, the following after, flew in, and we had the first meeting, which was a very good meeting. The ambassador of Malaysia will take a very hands-on approach here. So if we get the ASEAN countries working together, helping one another, as we did in the mentoring program,
Right.
And if we can do this in not only in agriculture, even agriculture is what we need, but other countries may need help in digitalization or other areas.
Yeah.
So this is where the exchange can happen.
So do you think Go Negosyo will go regional? Do you see mentoring happening from the Philippines, say, to I don't know, maybe Brunei or?
No, it's not doing that. They're copying the model that we're using right now here.
Okay, so each of them is doing.
Yes, so
the
they have their
mentorship.
own mentors. So
Yeah.
the Japanese who funded this, you have the curriculum that was designed. You have now mentors from Brunei who are qualified to mentor. So Thailand, Indonesia, and all of that.
Yeah.
So all countries, almost all countries, are implementing it. No? Now, that is not a very difficult thing to do,
Okay.
no? Because you have the government support of each country. The biggest challenge right now is how can we collaborate as ASEAN countries
I see.
and define my weakness and my strength.
I see.
My strength, I can help you
I see.
in what you need.
So the complementarity.
So that is what we're trying to do. Each country's strength and weakness, that's where we can now bring the real essence of why ASEAN was founded. This is working and collaborating and helping one another. To me, that's when ASEAN can be, I can say, is successful.
Right. And what's the dream? What's the picture in your mind when that happens? When that collaboration, that networking happens? Is it is that pushing ASEAN, the region, to the next level of being, say, maybe the factory of the world?
Well, if you look at it, America has 50 states.
Okay.
You have Europe now. So when you are trading together and you have an integrated approach, a well-oiled block of ASEAN nations
Right.
coming together, as what you see in Europe, US, and other areas,
Yeah.
coming together gives you more scale.
Okay.
And more influence, more power, and of course, scale is important.
Sure,
So
sure.
I think that's the vision of ASEAN. Eventually, as countries can compete against each other, then it should be totally
Open to
market, open.
everything, yeah.
We should prepare that. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
We have to elevate those who are not yet at that point because
Right.
they'll object it. But at a certain
Right.
point in time, ASEAN can be similar to a Europe. No?
Sure. You mentioned agriculture was one of those areas where that collaboration can happen. But the other thing I heard from those meetings is possibly the development of electric vehicles.
Yes.
Because Indonesia has the nickel to produce a battery, so does the Philippines. What do you think? Is there opportunity there, you think, for creating a system so that maybe ASEAN as a region supplies
That's
electric
right.
vehicles to the world? Is that
That can be an ASEAN project. In other
Yeah.
words, the Philippines, we mine a lot of nickel.
Yes.
We should add value to it, no?
Right.
Eventually make batteries here, no?
Sure.
I believe the future is going to be electric cars. I mean, I already have 2 electric cars. So I believe
Wow.
as electric cars go down in prices, I mean, everybody will move to electric cars. I think that's the future. So we have the natural resource for it. So how do we add value to that? To me, the battery is the main driver of that electric car. So we have the roadmap should lead towards that. So I think that that's just one example of
Right.
a great opportunity. So we've celebrated our 50th year during 2017.
When you were chair, yeah.
So we have, and I was telling my fellow chairs that we really have to not appear once a year and have all of these festivities and meetings and then go home and not do anything.
Right.
We have to continue to do what we have to do. So Lao is chairing next time, next year. So at this point in time, we are already preparing what we signed with the respective ASEAN countries on them collaborating with us in agriculture.
And you must be pleased that what you started 2017 is being continued by Indonesia. What's the next step, you think? I mean, for Laos and Malaysia after that, and the 10 years is going to be coming faster to the Philippines because we're taking over Myanmar's chairmanship.
Well, actually, Lao, my first role as chairman was when they were the chairman in Laos. I was appointed by Duterte back then. So my father was in ASEAN for so many years, 20 plus years. No? I never thought I would even end up doing this same thing. Sometimes it's weird, no?
It's fate.
It's fate that comes, and I never thought I would be this active in ASEAN. But you get to get that passionate when you see the amount of impact that you can create in the lives of people. And it's not only Filipino people that we can create impact. We can create impact on the lives of all of ASEAN. So Laos is next. It is also a country that is challenged with poverty. We're a much better position than Laos, of course. And that country needs help. But they have huge resources in agriculture. I mean, they have the Mekong River, etc. So, Malaysia will be next, then the Philippines we host, and hopefully by that time, whatever we signed in this Jakarta hosting will really materialize and really helping a lot of Filipino farmers. That's my goal. We have to help our Filipino farmers.
Exciting time. Sir, we'll just have to take a quick break. You're watching Business and Politics. We're talking to Joey Concepcion of CONEGOCIO.